Hello, and my mic ain't working. For fuck's sake, what is going on today? The mic decides, oh, it's working. Never mind, it is working. I couldn't see it. Hello, and welcome to the Heads Up podcast with myself, DxT Hobo, and joining me, as always, we have the lovely DxT Ferret and DxT Nevo. Lads, how are we doing tonight? Good stuff, good stuff. So for the first time as well today, we are streaming on Twitch and YouTube simultaneously. So this is quite a new thing for us. Twitch has gone live now, so we'll try and get some messages going through them. But so basically, what we missed in the last 2 weeks. So obviously, we had our first podcast. I think we had went really well, didn't it? I think everyone seemed to like it. Yeah, I think Gaz, I think you enjoyed it. I know definitely Brett enjoyed it because he wouldn't shut up. Little debates. He just wouldn't shut up the whole time. He was just constant talking. I love Brett. Brett is a legend. But yeah, it was quite good. I'm just going to switch back. I think my broad video is working on the what's the name, on the Twitch, because it's broadcast. I'm trying to broadcast the Heads Up podcast picture, but it doesn't actually work. You can only hear Dan. Okay, it's a problem at the moment because they only hear me. 1 second. Must be some sort of issue with the mic. As all. I don't know what it is. It's just technical issues today. It's kind of strange. Oh, that's a problem. That's why. 1 second. Let me just fix that issue. I know what it is. Okay. We'll start this again properly in a minute. Now what I'll do, fix an issue quickly, because the PlayStation unfortunately has this stupid feature where it will just log me out of the sound, and I've got to then fix it. So 1 second, and I'll start this again. Sound. Okay. Now I can't hear anything, but you should be able to be heard now, guys. But 1 second, I'll get myself plugged in so I can be heard.
Hope that they can hear us then.
They should be able to hear you now, because I've now plugged it in. I did forget that I'm not able.
While Hobby's gone, shall we just say how much of a dick it is?
I'm back now. I could hear you.
With the boom
Gaz,
there,
Gaz, leave Hobo alone, man. Don't be dissing Hobo like that, man.
Alright, we'll start this again. Hello and welcome to the Heads Up
Hobo.
podcast. Take 2. This is live, so it's obviously a live podcast, as you might plainly tell. Everything is live. I'm joined as always with DxT Nevo and DxT Gaz. We don't need to hear about them. But guys, how are you doing today?
Yeah,
I'm
good,
great.
man. I'm good.
So obviously, yeah, so it has been a week since the last, or 2 weeks even. A lot of things to talk about, I think. There's a reason why you guys haven't seen me about as well. Probably talk about the new F1 game coming out. Hogwarts Legacy just been dropped onto the store. If anyone's seen it, that looks amazing. Quick message to read out. I think you can only hear Hobo. Yeah, it should be all sorted now, guys. Tristan's joined the Discord. Welcome to the Discord. Go on, Alex.
Make sure people let us know if they can't still hear me and Gaz.
I think they can now. I've got the audio up, so I can actually see the audio bar going up and down, kind of thing. Okay. It's just annoying because since I've been away, my computer's kind of did an update and just moved everything around slightly. So like I couldn't see my mic or your mics working. So I just assumed it was all working fine. So there we go. So reason why you've not seen me for the last week and a bit, 2 weeks I suppose. One, I was in Birmingham.
He's been dogging.
I've been Whoa, it's funny you mentioned that. But we'll talk about that in a minute. So obviously since the lockdown restrictions are slightly lifted here in the UK, we took this opportunity, me and my partner.
That's why you went dogging.
So
finally we can go dogging again.
Yes.
Keep the mask on.
Mask on, dogging. We decided it's a bit better than that. We decided to go see the family in Birmingham, which was quite nice. I'm not a Brummie. My partner is a Brummie. Lexi, my fiance, she is a Brummie. So we went to see the family and that. And then we were meant to stay there for a week. While I was out there, I got a phone call from my parents saying that basically my pet dog Bailey has a tumour in his stomach and has to be put down. So emotions went really high. I was crying my eyes out. Decided to cut the trip short, come back a bit early, to find that the dog has been given steroids. He's on the roids now, just to get him to eat because he wasn't eating. and now he's like himself again. So big discussion in the family. What we're going to do? Should we put him down, or should we keep him going? And in the end, decided to keep him alive for a little bit. He's actually not showing any symptoms, like he's not in pain, nothing like that. So yeah, so that's basically what happened. So I spent basically 3 days crying my eyes out for nothing. So there you go. Kind of sucks, but there you go. That's how things roll. Alex, how's your week been? Or 2 weeks been, I should say.
I guess it was alright. My where I work, my shop opened up again, like for the public, so made it less boring every day. So it was alright. Other than that, it's been the same, to be fair. Like lockdown, nothing really changed, and now nothing's still really changed.
R.I.P. Dan Dog. Dan's dog's not dead. Dan's dog's alive, Britt. Dan's dog is alive. Bailey is alive still. He's downstairs. He's still a prick, and he's just himself. He is not dead. But it was just so emotional. That's why I've not been around. Real men cry. We do cry. We do cry. Gaz, how about you? How's your 2 weeks been?
Well, it's been quite eventful. Yes, it's busy sorting out the house.
Yeah. It actually has been quite eventful, hasn't it, Gaz? You told me about this little event that happened. Why don't you want to go into a bit more detail on this little event?
Well, talk about like the new neighbours.
The new neighbour, yeah. Go on, Gaz. I think we want to hear about the new neighbour.
They're lesbians, aren't they? Go on, Gaz.
They're not actually. She's a young single mum.
Oh. Whoop, whoop. Well, so, let me guess. She was getting ready in the morning. She didn't pull the curtains. You're there.
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.
Yeah, exactly that, like, boys. you got me in one there.
Got me red-handed.
Yeah, it's like her bedroom backs onto my bedroom, so it's like so it's like knocking on the wall.
Oh god! So someone said
so creepy.
Someone said in the chat that we wish someone had a camera. Guy, you don't want to see these faces. Like, list, honestly, you don't want it. Me and Gaz have just come off of a F1 race, so we're probably sweating our nuts off at the moment. Nevo is just gorgeous anyway, so you don't want to be like.
I did have a webcam for my PC streaming, but I'm not streaming through my PC at all. So
you're not streaming, yeah? It's just me.
Well, yeah, I'm not streaming at all, really much. So. Yeah.
I haven't managed to get to the barbers yet to get my hair sorted, so there's definitely no chance of getting pictures of me.
Oh yeah, man, my fucking hair is so bad right now, and all the barbers. It's probably the same everywhere, to be fair. But all the barbers close to me, they're literally booked up for 2 weeks. And if you try, and the ones that are doing walk-ins, the queues are so long. I'm like, fuck, I can wait like a couple of weeks, I think. Well, I can't, but I'm just like, you know what? I'm not about that life. Queuing life, can't be asked.
It's when trying to book it. It's not like this. You got loads of single appointments, but I need one for me and Toby. So it's like limited to where I can go on for Toby anyway. But then I need a double booking. So it's like, well, that's screwed me over. So I'll just keep checking on their websites and to see if there are any free slots.
What's wrong with the bowl cut, lads? Just get a bowl, shave it, done.
That's in the 90s. We're not freaking Joe Backstreet Boys, mate. So it's not happening.
What? Mate, you'd be lucky to be called a Backstreet Boy. I would be down as a Backstreet Boy. I'd be in the background going, "You are my fire." I love the Backstreet Boys.
No.
It's got to be done, man. It's got to be done. The thing is, what makes me laugh, I said, lockdown has now been lifted. Like we did see it, and it's been obviously beer gardens now open again. I was not, first in queue to get a beer. Like there was pubs open down our way, like were like midnight they opened, or 1 minute past they opened up. Like I wasn't that desperate to have a pint. I don't know about you guys.
Oh mate, I don't really care for it. Like I've been out a couple of times to like Weatherspoons for like, breakfast the other day and then lunch today. Other than that, I really couldn't give a flying fuck. I see all these people like. Even people posting it online like, oh my god, I can't wait for the pubs, I just need a beer outside. I'm thinking, what's wrong with buying a beer and just going in the garden? Like,
it's not draft.
Who cares? Alright, well, yeah, that's it. It's not from a pub. Oh, shut up, mate. Like, you get so many more beers for your money anyway, and secondly, you can still have, like, your mates in your garden chilling, and it'd be fucking better, probably. these people that are getting all excited about it, literally, it just makes me want to smash my face off a wall.
I haven't even bothered. I'll
I
be
haven't
honest, I've not
bothered
bothered.
either,
It's like, I've not been to one. I've been. My mate's like, oh yeah, we'll do the hockey captain meeting at a pub. I was like, no, why don't we just do it around the garden? Like,
I don't get it.
So I get sun all day round.
I said it's just I don't get me wrong. I was never a big pub lover. Like I used to like sitting when I was like say 15 onwards. Probably saying a bit too much about myself, but yeah, I used to like going to a pub, sitting there with my mates, you know, drinking with some of the fucking teachers from our school. But like I kind of grew out of that before I even hit 18. So like when it actually became legal, it wasn't as like fun. You know what I mean? I think that risk element of like, oh look, we shouldn't be drinking in the pub, kind of disappeared. So I was like, okay. So we just didn't really go pubs, and then when we do, it's just like I live in London, so a pint is like £5.90 if I'm lucky. I don't get much change from a tenner. Put it that way.
Yeah,
It's
man.
kind of
Like,
a strange one.
that's the thing, I think.
But yeah, Tristan said as well that it's about the haircuts. The day they opened in Wales, it was like a 2-hour wait, and I sat there and waited. He must have been that desperate for a haircut. Fuck you know.
He probably just couldn't see where he was going afterwards. So he's like, I'm here, I'm not moving, I can't see through the hair.
It must have been like he floated away as well. All that weight he must have lost of his hair. It was just floating away afterwards. See, I've not had this experience because I live with a hairdresser. My mum's a hairdresser. So she's she actually teaches hairdressing in a college. So like, I've never had my hair. I think during the first lockdown, just for pure solidarity, I didn't cut my hair until my mates got their hair cut. So we had like a whole we had like a little group of friends like from work, and we just didn't get our hairs cut. And we had like the man bun look. So we all had these man buns and long bushy beards and stuff.
Oh my
Only
God.
it was only a piss
Not
take.
that, listen.
You
No,
made me feel a
man
bit sick
bun.
now.
Oh, why would you want to look like a bin bag tied up like knot? Like,
It
why
was
would
a
you want to
joke.
go
It
around
wasn't
like
just-
that? It's not
Mate,
a joke. It's
I
not
wasn't
funny, Ivo.
leaving.
It's
It
not
was
funny.
It was lockdown 1. I wasn't leaving the house, was I?
I don't care if we were locked down for 10 years. I would never have a man
Did you get
bun.
auto-tune then? I don't care. What was that?
Yeah, man. T-Pain's in my room.
T-pained it. You just T-pained that.
T-Pain. Just T-pained it. Mate, that's how serious I am. It made my voice crack. That's how serious I am about a man bun. I literally, when I see people out and about with a man bun, I literally just want to buy a pair of scissors and cut it off their hair. I literally can't stand it. Why blokes have to have a man bun, I will never know. And I hope that this fad of a man bun fucks off really soon. Like, I cannot stand them. I see people with them and I literally just have this hatred for them.
Oh, don't. That's just fucking hilarious, man. I knew that would start you off. I knew that would start
It's not
you
funny. It's
It
like
is.
it's like when Jake had his little headband. I was like,
Oh.
"Who the fuck are you? What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, it gets in my eyes." Like, don't have a haircut. All right, cut it off yourself. You don't need a headband. All right.
The thing
You just
is,
don't need
though,
one.
Jake looked like Bellerin with when he had his long hair, which, as a Spurs
that's even
fan,
worse.
wasn't a good look.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, what like? There's certain there's certain haircuts. Like I can get behind like the short back and sides is slightly long on top. Like I can get behind that. It's slightly stylish, but the man bun is not stylish. You look like a prick.
No, it's very true. It is very true.
I love it. I absolutely love that. I completely agree with you though, Alex. I really do. My hockey team, we got like 30 plus guys in there, and over half of them had man buns. I freaking hated it.
I wouldn't play. I wouldn't play unless I cut it off.
I know. I couldn't do that.
Oh,
They need me. They need me too much for me not to play.
Well, then maybe they would cut it off, so you would play. If you're that important, be like, boys, I can't be doing this. I can't be seeing it with you. Like, I can't be out there. Like, whether you got a helmet on or not. Like, nah, not having anything bobbing about.
Oh god! How would you put it under your helmet? That's the other question.
I mean, you'd have to have a special helmet, wouldn't you? It's like a little
special
rabbit's
knob on
tail
it.
sticking out at the top. Yeah, yeah,
They take it out and then put the helmet on.
yeah.
Oh god!
Yeah, no, there's just no need for a man bun, man. I can't be doing it. I can't. It literally infuriates me so much. Like, there's certain pet hates, man, and like in real life, a man bun, it would literally set me off.
There's not much manly about it, really, is it?
It's not. It's just a
man
bun.
bun, no, not
It's
really.
fucking shit.
It's like that guy liner. It's nothing like a guy like isn't it?
I'm kind of sick of people trying to like have things like eyeliner, but go eyeliner. It's guys, no, it's not. It's eyeliner. You just put it on yourself. I don't care if you put if blokes want to wear it. Fair play to whoever, but don't try and rename it something it's not. It's not eyeliner for guys. It's not eyeliner. It's just eyeliner which you've bought. Like wear it sore, but don't fucking try and name it something to like try and make blokes fucking feel better about themselves.
Do you know what? I didn't think we'd get a reaction like this over like 2 topics. We haven't even spoken about VAR yet, and you're already gone.
No, the thing is, like, the 2 things you've spoken about, like, a proper fucking enrage me. like man buns are literally like my biggest pet hate. I literally cannot stand them. And like things like guideline, like I don't care. Like if blokes want to wear makeup or whatever, fine, do what you want to. But it's just when they try and like don't try and rename it with guy in front of it to make it more fucking manly. Like it's just not a thing.
Joe, I would never leave the house with that look. Like it wasn't the best of looks. But anyway, we'll jump on to another topic that Alex would love to talk about. Obviously, I'm a Spurs fan, unfortunately. These 2 are United fans, I believe. I'm right in thinking. I know that neither definitely is. I think Gaz is. So Tottenham played United last weekend. There was a decision that went against United for Tottenham, and it was basically the hands to the face of Son, which then later on built up to being a goal for United. As a Spurs fan, I ain't going to complain because we've had decisions go against us with VAR. But before this podcast started, Alex was already getting into his rant. I was like, no, wait, save it. But the thing is, right, like I said to you guys before we went live, like, Tottenham have had these decisions go against us, like, so much now. We had the handball from Lucas Moura from last season. That still pisses me off. Like, he got pushed over for starters. He's lying on the floor. The ball was kicked at him 2 yards away, and he's hit his arm when he's on the floor. And that was a handball. We lost the goal. And then this one from Son, he has been hit in the face. It happened to Lamella 2 days before that, so I can see where they're going, and I understand why it's been disallowed. But yeah, I can't really complain as a Spurs fan. I guess you guys have got different opinions on this.
Well, yeah, because he barely hit him. The thing is, this is not just an issue with like those sort of decisions. This is an issue with like even things like handball, like people's like body positions when they're running. If you look at football, when someone's coming like towards you, you're going past someone, you put your arms out to try and block the person, right? That's literally what you do. And McSauce has done that to Son, and it's barely grazed him. Like my daughter would not have even done anything to that. Like she would have just kept chasing me if I'd done that to her. And Son's gone down like he's been sniped by a fucking Barrett 50 cal with like close range. Like what the fuck? And then he's rolling about. And then afterwards, like his interview afterwards, he's almost crying. The prick. Like mate, you weren't in a UFC fight. You barely got grazed. And he's gone down and it's cost us that goal, which was actually a beautiful goal. I think the more annoying thing was actually a really nice goal. I think
it was just absolutely. That little touch of Pogba did to give Cavani the
it was
open.
beautiful.
That was amazing. Yeah. But my issue from it was it's slightly different. Is the fact that like McTominay's running and Son grabs his arm.
Yeah.
And so basically McTominay's arms come back because Son's grabbed his arm and has made connection, as smallest connection in the world, across that little Korean, little war dodging little prick.
He served his country. He served it.
No, he hasn't.
He has.
He hasn't.
He
did not. No, he hasn't.
He served it during lockdown.
He got told. He did not save it during lockdown.
He didn't. He got away with it. No, because
he got away with it.
Countries like that because he win the Olympic. Whatever it was, they done some.
No, they still made him go back.
It wasn't to do with that.
They still made him go back because he went back when the season got cancelled or delayed, whatever it was, cancelled in the Premier League. He actually went and did it then. There's pictures of him in his uniform. He served it. Go Google it. He's
done the training. Basically, no. What he's done is done the training. That's not every. It doesn't matter if you are. You don't have to do the national service, or you do. Every male over the age of 12 goes through the military training over there because of the constant threat from North Korea. Now, he's gone back and finished his training off, just in case to go. Oh, you know what? Joe, Spurs don't want you anymore, so we're going to take you and get you to do your 2-year national service. All he's done is the training. He's not done the national service. He's been given it a buy because of the fact that he's a professional footballer. It's the same as that band BTS. They've been given a 4-year break, so they don't have to go for 4 years just because they're making loads of money for career.
Okay, does make sense, to be honest. Does make sense.
Well, do you know what's stupid? The fact that, like, I get that obviously they've got a lot of different issues in terms of wars and stuff, but like, just let people have a choice. Like, I think you find a lot of people will more willingly go there if they have their choice rather than being forced into it. Like, I feel like that's such an old thing. Like like both North and South Korea, they're kind of stuck in the old ways, obviously, but like with the UK, like, you have a choice. You don't get forced to. You have to do it anymore. Like.
I agree with you on the fact about choices and that, but then again, then I also think that national service. If you think when national service was around, there was a bit more of a stronger unity and a stronger pride in the country. That's gone out the window now. Personally, I find it's really like I'm walking down the street and you get these. I call them yobs, but they're like 20, 25 years old who've never had a job. And like they think like they're 10 men because they managed to get a 20% extra profit when dealing weed. Those kind of people, and you never had this issue years ago when the national service was in. But like I think what it should be is like if there's no prospect for someone having a meaningful career. Or anything like that, someone who send them into the military, give them 2 years. They might like it, they might stick it out for an extra 6, or but they'll use those skills and become a bit more employable for other jobs. And it's just, but that's just my personal opinion.
I could get behind that. Like if that was a reason, like instead of, because I think some of the reason is as well, like a lot of people will like reap the rewards of the benefit system, especially in the UK, because it's really fucking good if you don't do anything, and completely milk it, where it should be like, well, you know what, you've not got a job, you're obviously not really trying, so why don't you try this? Go to some military training, do a year or two. You know, if you don't like it or you can't hack it, then you can leave, sort of thing, or you know, you might like it and find some kind of, I don't know, you know, a lot of people like it. They like the discipline and all that sort of stuff. And then, but you're right, the patriotism from the UK is kind of gone now. But then I feel like the UK is a soft fucking country, proper. Like, we're just rollovers. That's the problem.
We rollovers ever since Margaret Thatcher left office.
Yeah.
Well,
everyone else has been too much of a people pleaser.
So we don't keep talking about politics because there's two things you don't talk about: it's politics and religion. Don't want to get into that rabbit hole.
Well, that's the next topic, religion.
Just gonna swerve away a minute. So there's a couple of new releases been announced over the last week. Obviously, we've got the new F1. It's actually been dropped and you can available to pre-order. You guys seen the new F1 21?
I generally haven't had a look at it. Like I saw that it had been released on like people posting it on Discord, but I haven't looked at any of the features yet. I feel like I'm going to be disappointed as well. I feel like
don't look at the trailer. Don't look at the trailer. That trailer is disappointing. It's just a terrible trailer. It doesn't even give you anything, no insight to the game whatsoever. It doesn't even make you want to get the game. To be fair, but the features are sounding a lot better than this year's game. But I'm actually more looking forward to next year's game. To be fair.
Well, yeah, they've thrown in a lot of new story modes, haven't they? There's a thing called Breaking Point now, which basically, I suppose it's like the storylines you get in 2K and what we used to have in FIFA, the journey, where you're kind of like starting from Formula 2 to go up to Formula 1 and all that, and your rival comes with you, and it's all that kind of stuff. They're trying to get on that bandwagon of having an actual storyline to follow, which I get the trend. I'm not a big fan of it, but I do get it. But,
I think they tried that a little bit at the start of this one, didn't they? When you start off in F2 and you have a rival and it's do like, what is it, 2-4 races, something like that, and then it kind of just stops. But I like one of my favourite ever kind of storylines from a game mode. I think I really wish I could remember what the game was, but it was like a DTM sort of game. You'd have to move up through those sort of ranks. There was a lot of those different ones. I really wish I could remember what it was bloody called. It was such a sick game. But like you start from the bottom and you have to do certain things, and you could move up to different ones. But Formula One just had the thing where you had your rival and stuff like that for a longer period of time, and things like that. It would be so much better.
Yeah.
I also want like the cooperative campaign back. Like they brought it in, and
I think they are bringing that back.
And
Yeah, I'll bring that back.
if that's a
I think
feature,
it is,
then
yeah.
I'm fucking happy because I loved that when that came in, and then they got rid of it so quickly. And I have this thing. I love cooperative like games, and there's just not enough of them anymore. Everyone's going like open world and all this bollocks, but just bring co-op side of things back. It's so good if done right.
Yeah, well, I've heard the story mode on it is meant to be similar to Soccer Race Driver. So
think
you would
that's
start
it.
off
I think that might be the game that I was just
with
talking about.
where you basically got the Scottish guy going to basically talk you through everything you got to do.
And then in Soccer Race Driver, then you when you pick it up, you go through your different series, and you can pick what series you want to focus on. You end up in like your main game is aim is to end up in like DTM sort of thing.
Yeah, Brett's
Yeah.
the same thing as
Yeah,
Race Driver.
That's it, Tocker. Yeah, that game is like the fucking one of the best games I've ever played racing wise. It was so good. I wanted to bring that back.
Yeah, Soccer Race Driver was the game that changed me from being a wall rider in Gran Turismo to actually sticking to the racing line.
So what happened then?
Because
why are you back to be a wall rider again?
Oh, I'm not Magnus, mate.
He's probably trying to
not
dodge you on
Magnus.
a straight highway. To be fair, mate, you're fucking swerving.
Well, I did
damn it.
finish in front of him today.
You did as well. Where's Hungary? I don't like Hungary. Hungary is not a good track.
I'll be honest, I was actually quite surprised I kept the tidy on that, but yeah, well, like when I've played it, it was like I played the first Soccer Race Driver when I think it was like 8. I was really young when that came out.
Probably I don't know when I played it. I was probably like I want to say like 14, 15.
Like I was really young when I played that, and I used to like play Gran Turismo constantly, and it was Gran Turismo 2.
Same.
I used to basically I'll use like the Corvette Stingray, and because all it did was just go like, you know what, fuck it, I'll just hit the wall, bounce off the wall, and carry on, and that's what you did. But then when I tried that, because driving down, it was a Surface Paradise and those little chicanes, and I just every single time I always clipped it into the wall and like fuck, lost the wheel. And it just made you get better and better, and it was a good game to get people into racing. I've actually got my PlayStation 2 set up, so I might just dig it out and start like working on it with Toby.
I've never heard
Yeah.
this. I'm kind of like out of this conversation completely.
There's I don't know if anyone else used to play, but there was games called racing games called Ridge Racer and Rage Racer, and
Ridge
some of those
Racer,
games
I remember.
Ridge Racer was so good. Like Ridge Racer, you kind of the difficulty was done by kind of like what car you picked, and you would like some would be like quite easy. They'd be like really grippy or like really quick, and like it would just choose on that, and then you'd kind of upgrade your car, and it would change. So when it upgraded, you'd get different ones for every time you went through like a different season. Like you ended up with one car would have like it would be like one wheel at the back, two at the front, sort of thing, and like it was such a good game. I played that like so many times through, and they just don't have those sorts of games anymore, and it's sad because they were so good. And even Rage Racer, I can't remember much about Rage Racer, but like both of them, like were like that. Those two and Gran Turismo, before like Codemasters took over F1, were like the games that kept me racing. And Forza when I went to Xbox, but
Forza was in
Porsche.
elite. Forza Challenge.
Forza 2 was amazing.
Forza Challenge.
Forza Challenge.
That was insane.
Yes.
That was so hard though. That game was so fucking hard. Forza Challenge was ridiculous.
That was what it was like. I played that because like the Porsche was one of my favourite cars as a kid, and you never got it on like Gran Turismo, not until Gran Turismo 3 came out. So it was like, yeah, it was the only way you could drive a Porsche was on that or on Need for Speed games.
Yeah. See, Need for Speed I didn't like until they made Underground. I think the aspect of like having the the liveries and stuff was like elite. And the music,
Well,
the
see,
soundtrack to that as well was insane.
I like it was Need for Speed 3 and Need for Speed Hot Pursuit was both for the PlayStation 1 were my go-to Need for Speed games.
I never liked Hobbs.
It was the whole police thing. It was Joe. It was great for me. I absolutely Joe. I loved that part of it. But I wouldn't do anything else on the game. I would just play the police.
Yeah, so that's the thing I didn't like about it. But like, I really liked. I like Need for Speed Underground, Underground 2 were for me the best two. The only other one I really liked 100%. After that was Carbon. The only other one I liked after that was Carbon.
Didn't like Carbon.
I liked Carbon, but I didn't like Hot Pursuit. I liked Carbon, and I don't think I've played any since.
No, I think I played them. I did both Undergrounds. I owned both of them, and then I think I played it at the Carbon at my mate's house, and it wasn't the same. Like the soundtrack made that as well.
Yeah, Carbon was a lot better on the PC than it was on any console because you could do a lot more with the car design. So you could do a lot more with the wheels. So that was obviously you had the auto sculpt on it, which you could do things, but with the PC you could do a lot more with that. Because I did like the Carbon was the only one I ever played on the PC. I've played all the later ones as well, but I think the one I played the shortest was actually Need for Speed Run, which is the movie is actually loosely based on that.
Yeah.
And I completed it within 7 hours. I was doing a nighttime shift at the O2 Arena during the Olympics, and me and the sergeant sat there and played it for 7 hours non-stop on the hardest difficulty to just smash it. So that was
in the chat. So I interrupted you. Mario Kart from Izzy. That's obviously elite Mario Kart. And Crash Bandicoot Tag Team Racing. Crash Bandicoot Tag Team Racing was
Mario
insane.
Kart was never my thing, but Crash Team Racing was my fucking jam when I was a kid, on PS1 when I was young. CTR was
it was
amazing.
Good on PS1.
I love that.
It was good, but it was better
I liked
on
it.
PSP.
That's why I played it on.
On PSP, with the ability to play with, obviously, because you can have 6 PSPs and they all link together. And where there was 10 spaces, I think, in that game, 10 you can take over. The fact that you can do that with PSP was just insane. I used to be my sister, and my cousins all playing that game, and it caused the most arguments because 2 people would team up, and then at the very end you sort of split and try and race to the end, and it was just insane. No one ever crossed the line as a partnership. It was so funny.
Yeah, I did like Crash Team Racing I liked, but Tag Racing I thought and Nitro Kart I thought weren't on the same level. I thought that even though you could do a lot more, the weapons were better and that, but for gameplay itself I thought it was a bit off.
Oh no!
I thought it wasn't quite the same.
That's a game I could. If I had the PSP, I could pick up now and just play it again. It was such a good game. It made it more fun when playing with other people.
Yeah, I've never played the PSP version, so I couldn't really comment on that. But go to Mario Kart. Mario Kart was the one I grew up on, so I played the one on the Super NES. Played on the DS. When I got the Wii U, I actually got the fastest time in the world on the Super Nintendo Rainbow Road.
How the fuck do you play Rainbow Road is just like Monaco. That's AIDS. That made
Monaco without walls.
Monaco with death, actual death.
But I drive out I drive hungry. It's all about the flow. Once you got the flow, you just pick it up. There, you're grinding most of the race, most of the corners.
No, there's a special place in hell for people like Rainbow Road, and that's where you're going.
I'll take that. I absolutely love that. I found that Rainbow Road on the N64 was too easy. It was just long.
I used to the N64. Playing that was just. I remember that as a kid playing that game. It was just. That was one of the best consoles because that controller was just immense as well. The controller for that N64 was just amazing.
It was just out of this world, wasn't it?
You can go to hell as well with that I love Rainbow Road comment. Like, Rainbow Road is just—it's not a fun. That just gives me nightmares thinking about it. I'm getting a PTSD. It's ridiculous.
I don't know how. Like it's just when you hook it up. Obviously, I'm not any of these like you see some of the speedrunners for Mario Kart that can do Rainbow Road in like less than like 20 seconds because they find a glitch that they can like exploit, and it's absolutely bizarre how they do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You see the glitch and they just sort of bounce around, do a lap in like 10 seconds. Brett just made a comment
Like
actually on 64. Change subject from racing. Best game. I think I got to agree with him on this. 007 GoldenEye.
Well done, Brett. That is the best game ever.
Alright, so
That is a good game, to be fair.
who are you
shocking
picking as your
at
character
then,
in matchmaking? Who are you picking as your character? And there's only one correct answer in this one.
Odd job.
Thank you. It's got to be done, isn't it? Odd job. That was insane.
Odd job. It's like you go odd job, one shot kill, no matter what, half the shot are going over your head. So it's like you got it's a 50-50 chance they're going to miss.
Because the thing is, as well, you at the start of the game, obviously you picked odd job because it's funny to be a midget. Like, let's be honest. Like, you're only doing it for the novelty of being small. And then you realise how OP that character was. And the fact as well, because he was so small, he was actually quite rapid as well. And because obviously everyone else who stupidly picked James Bond are aiming up or picking Jaws or something, they're aiming up as like head height. And you just running at their ankles and you go, yeah, throwing your fucking bowler at them.
With a karate chop at the ankle and kill them.
Oh, Odd Job was insane. Who throws a shoe, honestly? Nah, I swear to God, that game was just immense. And I love the world that you can get. The rocket launcher was power. There's the first game I remember being when you fired a rocket, you actually drove it yourself. That was the first game I remember actually having that feature. And I thought that was insane as well.
It was the Moonraker laser that you used to fire. You could get through certain walls with it.
Yeah, you could just take out like the whole building because everyone would just be camping somewhere. You just like take out a whole floor.
You just like fire it along the wall just to get them because the laser's just gonna go right through.
Oh man, that game was legit. The one, that game was just insane.
And like the Wii tried to do a remake of it, and it was absolutely terrible.
It was so bad.
But they're actually going to do they're not going. They're calling it a remastered rather than a remake. So they're doing a new one for the Nintendo Switch, which is going to be based fully on the original GoldenEye.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
Especially with the shared connectivity of the
it's really
the Switch means that you could have like 8 to 16 players running around a map. Some of the maps were huge.
With the Switch, but me and Nevo both had a Switch, and I think we both had the same thing. The novelty of that Switch wore off so fucking quickly.
Oh yeah, so like I got it. We both got it, and we were playing Zelda.
We both got it a day out. It was the first day it came out, didn't we?
Well, no, you got it, and then you brought it round, and I had to go, and I was like, I kind of want one. So then I ordered one when you were there. I got it. We played Zelda a bit, but then I was just like, well, there's nothing else to it. I was just like, this would be sick if there was. I think certain things are on there, like if it had Netflix and things like that. Like if I could use that for it, like it would be amazing. It just didn't have that when it first came out, and so I sold it. But I feel like now it might be better, but I don't have that motivation to even want to.
No, I don't want to risk
to have it now.
Like, even I got it to play Pokemon was a really big call to me. Like, I think that's the game we've all grown up with, Pokemon. But they made it. I won't say that they de-nerfed it. They made it like, or they completely nerfed it. I should say they completely nerfed it. And what I mean is, like, do you remember the old game on the old Game Boys where you're battling a Pokemon, and the only Pokemon that would get experience was the one that you was using, right?
Yeah.
So in the new Pokemon, I don't know whether it's because kids these days have got lower attention span or something or what, but you battle someone, and every Pokemon in your party will get experience. So you could basically, like what I ended up doing when I went through Victory Road, and I put like a Pokemon I caught. I think it was a Charmander. I found a gold Charmander, which is another thing that's in itself. And I just put it in there as the 5th space and ran through Pokemon League and done it. And also, what made that game super easy as well is you had the ability to have 2-player. So every battle you had then became a 2-on-1. and it was just too easy.
Yeah.
I ended up completing that game faster. There was no. I remember playing the original Pokemon games as a kid. At play 11, 12 years old, playing that game, and having to grind for 4 hours in Victory Road, or Victory Road, just to get past the first Elite Four, because I couldn't get past the first one. Like, and it was just.
I remember having to like. Yeah, I remember like in terms of the experiencing. I remember like throwing out like multiple Pokemon just so that they were in the fight, so they would get experience. Like that's the old way you used to be able to like multi-level. You'd have some weaker ones. You'd literally throw them out, probably take a hit for each one, hope they didn't die, and then put your stronger ones out to kind of kill it. And that's the way to get them all experience. And like those games are so sick, and even certain things like I remember. I think in the original ones when you had to go through the cave, and it was but you had to have flash to be able to see.
Yeah, that was all gone.
I remember memorizing the path so I could do it in the dark, like that sort of shit. And I wasn't even old then when that was happening, but I remember going right, okay, I know this, and I could literally I'd go in there in the dark, but it doesn't matter. I'd do it, and I'd end up the other side. But just by like learning that as like a kid. But nowadays, every game is too casual. They just want people to. I don't know. They just make everything so much easier and so much more like PG. There's no dodginess. But Pokemon used to be solid. It used to be hard, and you used to have to take a lot of time. Even finding certain Pokemon, man, you'd sit there running through certain grass areas for hours on end.
Because even like this one as well, like you would like the way that it done it was like Pokemon Go, where you would see the Pokemon in the grass, so you could basically, if you wanted to, get through the whole game without hitting an encounter because you could see them, and you just go, I'll avoid that Pokemon. And you couldn't do that in the game of when we had as a kid, because you just had to keep encounter after encounter after encounter, and you couldn't avoid it unless you had a potion or something on, or a law, like one of them, like laws or something. It was so frustrating, and I said this is how I was able to catch a gold Charizard, or black Charizard, because I had searched around for ages until I saw a gold Charmander, and you could actually see it, but you could avoid the ones that weren't gold. So it was like it was a bit. So I say, like I said, that aspect of it kind of ruined it for me. A lot of the HMs had disappeared or changed. Like I said, there wasn't Flash anymore. There was other ones I think as well. I can't really remember now, but. It wasn't a big. I think for me, it was a bit of a flop in my opinion. It wasn't what I was expecting. I was hoping for another decent game, and it just wasn't. It was just too easy. It was not made for kids. I say that because it was made for kids, but it was made for like 2-year-olds kind of thing. Yes, that's what it felt like. Made it a bit too easy.
I'd rather get like an emulator and play like the old red, blue, yellows, and like silver and gold and crystal and things like that again, because they were like all the solid ones.
On emulators, I love emulators to the point where I think since getting an iPhone, I've recompleted red, blue, and yellow, gold and silver. I've done all of them all over again, to the point where I was looking for hacks. One of the best hacks I found was based. It was called Pokemon Rocket. You were playing as Team Rocket. You steal Pokemon, and it's based completely on the same storyline as the original Red and Blue game. To the point where even like remember the glitch as well, the missing number glitch with that Pokemon you
the missing number. I used to do that all the time.
So this Pokemon,
it's like, oh yep, new Pokemon, boff, full max level.
This hack was so good. It incorporated that into the game, where basically it all come about where they were trying to make Mew. Yeah, like in the film, they're trying to make Mew, or Mewtwo, sorry. And the first Pokemon that survived was I'm going to call him Masingo, because I used to call him Masingo as a kid. Was Masingo, and they incorporated it into the game where you had to go and catch Masingo and then go through and fight the Elite Four with this thing, because obviously you had to go find out the real meaning behind Red, aka the Ash character you play as. And the storyline is insane. Guys, if you haven't played it, I really recommend you. That's called Pokemon Rocket Edition. You can get it from the Pokemon community, and it is the best game. I waited literally 4 years for this game to be completed, because it's made by one guy. and I had to wait for him to finish uni before he could finish the game, and it was just the best game I've ever played. Storyline, everything is insane. It actually changes the storyline for your Pokemon. Not in a bad way, it kind of adds a different aspect to it, because you find out a bit more about the Pokemon War, a bit more of Oak's backstory, and it's just insane. Just insane.
Sounds really cool, actually. I never really did any emulators or anything like that, but like when I see like things like some of the new Pokemon games and things like that, I'm thinking, I really wish I would just. Like, I've still got like my own Game Boy Advance and things like that, and I try to play. Like the thing is, like my game cartridges now, they're a bit old. They don't really save. Like they're a bit fucked now. But
they don't really work properly now.
They don't work properly. But I'd love just to have that. Like I don't want to. Like a Game Boy used to cost like what £100 or something. Like, I don't really want to spend like £300 on a Switch just to get the new Pokemon games, which I won't enjoy.
Yes, it's a new Pokemon. If you had the ability to buy the old Pokemon game on the Switch, I probably would have kept the Switch. I'm not joking.
If they ever go like remastered, just remastered, exactly the same game, but more up to date graphics, just leave it. But they just remastered it for just like graphically. And they're re-releasing it. I would be so tempted to get a Switch. Like, I probably would just get one just to play them, because that would be like amazing to me. But they just ruin too many games now, and I think I don't know. I just remember. I don't know if it's. I really don't know what's really happened. Like, I remember playing so many games like when I was younger, and I think, that was so good. And there's only been one game. I don't know if anyone else has played this. I used to play a game called like Gauntlet Legends. And it was basically, you'd go through different levels and you'd have to complete them, and there'd be like certain bosses you have to find, but you'd have to find like these two like runestones so you could unlock like the final very end boss. And there was like there'll be like 4 characters, and you go through and you level them up. There'll be like an archer, a warrior, and things like that. They re-released one back in like I think it was 2015 or something like that, and I waited for that to come out, and that's the only kind of remake that I've played that was actually satisfying. Like, it wasn't quite. It was kind of like 4 players where you could go through it with 4 people and it would get harder, more mobs would spawn, things like that. But that was the only time I played again. I was thinking, this is like almost just as good. Like, where I wasn't disappointed. I played it, I got through it, but it was fun, and I didn't feel like this is just a flop. That's probably the only game where someone's made a remake where I've actually really enjoyed it, and I really wish they would just not keep messing up when they think, oh yeah, we will remake it. There'll be so much hype. But yeah, they're hype, but it'll be shit. And then the hype will drop off, and then you'll be ruined.
Yeah, what did I think it's Legend of Goku and Blue's Fury, or Boo's Fury. I think that's Brett's talking about Dragon Ball Z. 'Cause I don't know Goku's Dragon Ball Z, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Goku. Man. I used to love watching Dragon Ball Z, and I remember playing. I can't. It was one of the fighting games. I can't remember what it was. I used to play it around my mate's house, and it was really sick. But I don't remember playing many of the games. No. I can't remember what it was. But I used to play as Gohan like all the time. Fucking he would just wreck. It was so fun.
I think one of those things. Pokemon being like the best TV show into a game. I think that's probably like the best. I would say I'll rate that as the best. I think second probably be the Harry Potter series. The Harry Potter series from playing on PS1 was the most insane story, because obviously you're following the story under the film, so you're relating to the films. But it was just amazing exploring Hogwarts and stuff. Like, it was ridiculous.
See, I'd never really played the Harry Potter games when they came out, and it wasn't. I really enjoyed the books. Like, I used to do the books in school and stuff, and I loved that. I never really played the games, but I am really actually excited for the new game that's coming out. My mate Josh he loves Harry Potter, and he's so excited about this game. And I was watching a few trailers, and it really looks bloody good.
No,
it really looks. It kind of has a bit of like a Fable feel to it, but more, just better. Like the fact that you can be good or evil and things like that. So it has that sort of Fable aspect to it, but looks like a really, really good game. And if the storyline's good, I'll definitely be getting it. I'll definitely be getting it.
Because I remember when it was leaked, like 5-6 years ago, it was leaked, and everyone thought it was fake and all that stuff. So I've been kind of waiting for this game for that long, and then when you're seeing it, that actually being announced, and it's done by a Portkey as well, which I think is an amazing name for considering they're doing Harry Potter. It's just insane. Like, Gaz, you must be dying to play this game, surely. Harry Potter Legacy. Oh, sorry, Hogwarts Legacy.
It's one of those games that I've just sitting there it's on the list of games I must play at some point. But at the moment, I can't seem to fit into when I should be able to play it because I'm actually focused on quite a few different things at the moment.
That's it. I just I'm so excited with it. Like I said, like Brett just said as well, and it's good that they've actually made it a pre-Potter rather than like a post-Potter, because you've kind of got to follow what J.K. Rowling set up. Because this isn't a J.K. Rowling storyline. This is a complete new storyline. So I think they're trying to distance themselves from J.K. after she made that comment on Twitter. But so this is like a complete brand new story that is so far in the past. It has no effect on the Potter universe whatsoever, because it's a bit, it's 1886, I think it's set, and obviously the Harry Potter thing started to come into play. I think it was around the 1900s with the with what they're doing, the Fantastic Beasts, Grindelwald and all that. That's 1900s, isn't it? Like the early 1900s. So it shouldn't affect that too much. I think it's 1886 or 1806 or something like stupidly in the past.
The thing is, I wouldn't even mind if it followed the Harry Potter. I think some of the problem with when you're trying to follow a storyline which has already been done, like if it's such a successful thing like Harry Potter was, if it's not up to par, it completely tanks.
Yeah.
It completely tanks, which is a big problem. Like I remember, I haven't even played this, but one thing I would love is a really good Game of Thrones game. Like I love Game of Thrones. I think it's really, really sick for the first 6 seasons. Season 7 is okay, and Season 8 is actually disappointing as fuck, and I'm actually fuming about how it ended and how quick it went. They could have probably got another 2 seasons and it would have been decent out of it. But, they released a game for it, and I watched a few, and I was like, oh, I might get this, and I was looking at it, I was like, it just seems crap. But I think going for, prequel-wise, you can't really go wrong, because you can set it up and do a decent story, and it doesn't affect the world that you know, and you think, these events could actually lead up
it's like
to what we know. It's
like Red Dead. Do you know, obviously, I think, Alex, you played Red Dead 1 or Red Dead 2?
To be fair, mate, I haven't really played any of them. I had Red Dead 2, never played it.
Guys, you've played Red Dead 2, haven't you?
No.
Red Dead 1?
No, I've never played any of them.
For God's sake. So, Red Dead is basically a cowboy game. So I'll explain this to you guys. And I've never played Red Dead 1. And the trailer for Red Dead 2, it basically is a Rockstar game. So it's a GTA kind of feel, but you're in the Old West. So I thought that in itself enticed me. I like GTA. I like GTA. It's one of my favourite games. I thought, you know what? This in the Old West with GTA 5 aspects would be insane. So I played that. I got so hooked on the storyline. I then realised at the very end, it actually picks up at the very start of Red Dead 1. So it was a prequel to Red Dead 1. So I was like, oh, okay, sweet. I then played the old Red Dead 1 and completed the storyline, and it was insane. So I think if you're in that aspect of they're doing a prequel and it is before Voldemort and Harry Potter stuff leading up to the Harry Potter series, it could work as long as they leave it at the right point. They don't want to go too far into the Harry Potter universe, really, or the Harry Potter timeline. But if they just get it to the end, maybe when it ends sort of maybe the conception of Voldemort. Maybe it's that kind of shit, where that's how Voldemort became Voldemort or some shit, or even Salazar Slytherin or something. But I don't know. But as long as it kind of follows on to that, it could work. But when they're doing it so far in the past, it's just that they don't want to risk it, which I completely understand, to be honest. I own Red Dead 2, but I've never played the story. Brett, I implore you, it is the absolute best storyline I have ever played on a game, and that's beating the storyline to GTA Vice City. It is the best storyline I've ever played on a game. Recommend it so highly. Brett said you could start with James and Lily. Yeah, that's it. That's a good point. You could end it with James and Lily or something and start at that point. But
they honestly should actually start it with the Percivals.
The Percival, oh yeah.
To be fair, that would be a
All that.
hell of a place to start it.
Yeah, that'd be good. That would be really good. Or even like how they founded Hogwarts in the first place, like how the 4 houses come together. Because that would have been interesting in itself. Or even at the beginning of Hogwarts, because we know that obviously Salazar Slytherin didn't get on with the other 3. So that would be quite interesting to see that play out when you've got all of them 3, or all them 4, as characters in this game, where you actually see the tensions they might have. But yeah, definitely looking forward to it, as you can plainly tell. I'm a big Potterhead. Go to the Harry Potter studios once a year to see what they've added next.
One game, I don't know if anyone else has played these games, but one of my all-time favourite trilogies is the Mass Effect trilogy. Like, Mass Effect games, I absolutely love. Like, it's a sort of game, I don't know if people haven't played it, it's so sick. You basically, you command a Shepherd, and you're like a commander of like a you know, like, not really like a Starfleet, but like it is kind of in space and stuff like that. And you've got around, and obviously there's certain things that like you've got to try and kill and defeat, otherwise they're going to wipe out humanity, sort of thing. But it's a sort of game as well where like the choices you make actually affect what happens. Like you can choose to like save your best mate or save like your love interest, sort of thing. And it does kind of change, and people and like the other NPCs kind of realise like what choices you've made and stuff. Like these games that, like, if you haven't played Mass Effect, I just play them. 1, 2, and 3 are amazing. But they made another one called Andromeda, which the combat in it was quite nice, but you kind of lose storyline of like the original trilogy. But they're remaking another one, and it actually looks like it could be quite good, and I'm so buzzing for it. But
This must be a Mass Effect joke, but I think he just said, Brett just said, "Hey Alex, we'll bang, okay?" I don't know if that's a Mass Effect joke, but it's just like, right out of the blue.
It's just, man. Just even talking about, I say makes me want to play them all again. But yeah, like the reason why I came to this, like for starters, like the first 3 are insane, but it's kind of one where they had that, then the 4th one I was buzzing for, it kind of tanked, and it's not the same, and then they're trying to kind of reinvent it, and I really wish games would stop fucking shit up.
So we'll kind of wrap it up there on the games, because obviously there is another big news story we're going to miss, and what we'll do, we're getting to that point, we've nearly been streaming for an hour now already, so we'll kind of wrap it up in a little bit. But what did, obviously another big story in the news, is obviously the death of Prince Philip. Now, this could spark some interest, because I know that Brett wanted to hear what we thought of this, what the situation with the royals. So, for me, okay, it was kind of strange, because obviously I found out about what I thought my dog was getting put down on the same day he died. So when I was like crying my eyes out, people, her family were coming home and going, "Oh, you're sad about Prince Philip?" I went, "No, I don't give a shit." Personally, they thought I was crying over Prince Philip died. Like, I couldn't give 2 fucks about Prince Philip. I'm not gonna lie. I've nothing against him. I think he's quite funny the way he lived his life and shit, the shit he come out with. But I don't think the Brits have that same royal relationship that the world thinks we have. I don't know if you guys feel the same.
No, I'm kind of in the same boat. So like, for me personally as well, like he was kind of, I felt like he was living in borrowed time. I feel like, do you remember the films like Final Destination when you kind of cheat death and then death comes back to you and still kills you in a different way? Like the motherfucker flipped like his Range Rover at like he's like, was it last year or something? And it was like, and didn't he have coronavirus as well? He flipped his like Range Rover and then had COVID, and then Death's like, "You motherfucker, I'm gonna get you." And then when he died, I wasn't surprised. But it's not that I'm not being like patriotic when I say, it's not that I don't care, but so many people die every day as well, but because they're not a royal or they're just, you know, another person, you don't hear about it. Yeah. So it's just that thing. We just know about this because it's a royal family. It's put everywhere. Like, it's a sad thing, anyone dying, right? Unless there's some kind of like, I don't know, paedophile, rapist, or just disgusting person sort of thing, then you don't really care. But it's a sad thing. But it's not that I'm not patriotic and thinking, "Oh, I'm really sad." I don't know him. I never spoke to him. Like, he's a war veteran, right? So I respect for what he did. Obviously, for anything like that and stuff like that. But I wouldn't say I was proper sad about it. But I think you're right in saying that people think like all the Brits love the royal family, but there's just not really a connection. They don't really do anything. You know, they make public appearances and things like that. There's no real connection for most Brits and the royal family, I don't think.
Well, Gaz, how do you feel? Well, you served as well. You served for the country. So
yeah, well,
I've
met him in the I've met him in 2012. It's for me personally. I'm not too fussed because there's a fine line between good and bad with him. You gotta like. He was like, as I'm going to quote Russell Howard here, but he was the nation's favourite racist.
Yeah, very, very true.
When I met him, I was on the VIP gate at the Greenwich Park for the equestrian events, the Olympics for 2012, because Dara Phillips was there. So, like, the day of the finals, the Queen turns up, the Prince Philip standing 3 paces behind. And the army's there only to support the G4S people who are running the events.
Don't get me started
And
on G4S. Carry on.
yeah, but I just basically. So basically, the only thing I want to say about this guy asked the Queen for their ID.
What?
He asked the Queen for.
Please tell me to pull out a £5 note.
Well, to be honest, you've just basically cut the story that quick there. Basically, at the desk where they come in, because we've got to give them passes. The only person who was not on in this book of VIPs was the Queen, because it was self-explanatory. She can walk into anywhere. She doesn't have to show ID. She doesn't need a pass. She can walk wherever. We're standing outside the Queen's house. The building's called the Queen's House. It belongs to her. Like, it's like, we can't sit there. And the park's called the Royal Greenwich Park. It's like what? You can't get any more clearer than that. This is the Queen.
It would have been sick if you actually whipped out like one of every note or something like that.
Well,
like,
the thing is,
not enough. 10 or 20? What about a 50, young man? So sick if he done that,
what about this $100 bill that I got made special?
Well, the funny thing is, the guy was standing there. He's like, yeah, she because the Queen will not speak to anybody unless it was a part of a presentation thing, or it was a meet and greets. So basically, I thought, I've got to step up here. I thought, I'm going to take the pick, and I did. I pulled out a £10 note that was in my pocket and went, "There's her ID," and he went white. I'll be honest, the guy was Jamaican. So him going white was like, it was like whoa, but the thing is, like, from Jamaica, the Queen is still head of state over there.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
So
no, she is.
So basically, I was like, the guy went like all completely white, thinking that he's going to get shot. Really? So he walks away that quick, and I went, "Sorry, Mom, just carry on." He walks over, leans over to me, goes, "I wouldn't hang around with these people for much longer. You might have a funny accent." Right? Now the thing is, though, like,
oh my god, what's that?
So like, but the thing is, I was like, "Sorry, sir, it's a bit too late. I'm Scouse." Like that, he just like had a smirk and walked away. And I was like, I shot him up that quick. And so I was like, and then Prince Charles come up with that. Went, "I've never seen my father never have a quick back to someone like that." I was like, well, I've gotten beat here. But the guy at the end of the event came back round and went, "By the way, I own a pub around the corner. Come round for a drink. Your whole unit's invited." It points over to the G4S, but yous are not. It's like, so he was brutal, and it's like, but like I had to do a lot of bit of digging around. Like when you meet royal family, you got to do a bit of digging around. You got to know about things, and I found out some things from his past that it's like it's dark, if you get me. And it's like, you wonder how on earth he got because he's royal family, gets away with it.
Yeah.
So me personally, I'm thinking, I'm on the fence with it. Yeah, the guy's done a lot. He's lived a long life. It's just that there is a lot of people out in this world that pretty much would happily dance on his grave because of some of the dark stuff he's done towards their people. So it's for me. I'm on the fence.
See, one of the funniest stories I've heard about him was it was at one of these Raw. I think it was like the Raw Variety performance, something. And Brett should know this guy. This guy is a comedian called Adam Hills, and basically he has a stand-up bit about all this. But to cut a long story short, basically, someone advised him to tell a bad joke about the weather or something, about him going back home for Christmas because it's nice and hot. He makes this joke, it bombs, and then obviously he got to meet the Queen afterwards, didn't they? So he does the rest of his thing anyway. He's got a wooden leg as well. He's got one leg. Who don't know Adam Hills. So anyway, he's got carries on with stories. Oh, I've got a wooden leg. Carries on, and it's quite good. So then afterwards they meet the royals. So they're lining up and all that, and he's sort of just realised he's in the queue next to like people. He just realised that he hasn't polished his shoes and they're quite scuffy. And he thought, oh my god, what a day! I'm meeting the Queen. Adam Hills. Okay, he doesn't know who Adam Hills is. Google him. He's funny. But he said, I'm meeting the Queen and I've not polished my shoes. Oh, it's an embarrassment. So anyway, the Queen's come up to him and all that and met him and said hello. And she sort of made a little like sarcastic joke saying that the audience helped you out here because he wasn't that funny. That kind of that little snarky comment, and she walked off. And he said he kind of forgot that the Prince Philip was coming because you kind of so focused on meeting the Queen, you forget about Prince Philip. And then he sort of like said, "Oh, well, hello, now how you doing?" And he goes, "I had a little chat." And but as he's about to walk away, Prince Philip's looked at his shoes. And he's gone, "Oh, don't mention my shoes, don't mention my shoes, don't mention they're scuffed, please don't mention they're scuffed." And he goes, "So you're going back tomorrow, are you?" And he goes, "Yes, Your Majesty, I'm going back to Australia." And he goes, looks down at his feet, looks up at him, down at his feet, up at him. And he goes, and this is the comment he makes to him: "You can sneak some gin away in that fake leg of yours," and walks off. That's the kind of person he was. Like that's what comes to his head. He thinks about his wooden leg and like how he can smuggle something out of the country. Like it's just fucking ridiculous. But yeah, I said Speed made a comment that the royals do bring money into the country. Yeah, I get that. But what annoyed me as well that they wanted to spend £119 million on a fucking boat to honour his death. Like, one, he's dead. What's he gonna do with a fucking boat? And also, that money could be better spent because that's like taxpayers' money that could be better spent, used somewhere else. Like, it's just, I think some of the times our priorities are in the wrong order. I get the royal family, I get why they're important, but yeah, I also see it on the other side as well. I'm like, what the fuck is the point of them?
But they've got the royal barge. Why can't they just stick them on that?
Stick him on that. Stick the Royal Britannia. It's a museum now. But fucking get that decommissioned or get that recommissioned and fucking send that out. Why did he?
It's a floating hotel now. But the
fuck it. Then they go all the guests and go for a fucking ride. Bollocks to it.
They've got the royal barge that they use for whenever like to do any royal ceremonies out on the River Thames. Yeah, just use the royal barge.
That nearly killed him in itself doing that fucking memorial they had when all the boats come out on the thing and it was pissing down with rain and he's like there, the 95-year-old bloke standing there in a pissing cold rain. This is fucking like they're playing like for fuck's sake, it's raining. Get him in. Get him a jacket. Oh, Viking funeral. Viking funeral from Brett.
He was Danish born. No, he was Greek.
He was Greek. He
doesn't. This is the second time Brett made a comment about really bad geography.
He was Greek. He was born in Cyprus, wasn't he? I believe. So
nope, it was Corfu.
Corfu, that's it. Corfu.
There's that building that he was born in. It's actually got a plaque outside it saying that he was born there. He was smuggled out of Corfu in a potato crate when basically the Greeks decided to overthrow the royal family that was there. But this is job. I'm going to make this. Brett, can you do us a favour before you make any more comments about geography? Can you study a map, an atlas, or something, just so you can get it right?
The problem is his map's all upside down. That's the big problem.
One thing I will say about Brett saying about a Viking funeral, like I actually want a Viking funeral. I think it's the sickest way to be sent off, and then I found out they're illegal. So I was kind of gutted. Yeah, you're not allowed to, like, I don't know why, but I remember looking into it and like I remember reading that Viking funerals are illegal, but I thought that would be the sickest way, man. I would love to be pushed out on a boat and some fucking archer with a fiery arrow ping it over to my boat and set me on fire. That would be just the most fucking kick-ass way to be sent off. And then I found out like they're illegal, and I was just like, wow. Fuck it, I'm dead. What are they going to do to me?
Arrest you?
Put me in jail? Exactly. But if we be the poor arsehole firing the arrow or pushing out the boat, but I was like, you know what? Sack it, I'm dead, I don't care.
The thing is, though, that's the only thing like I'd want you'd want to watch it. So if anything, you've kind of got to like fake your own death, then you can watch it happen, sort of thing, to actually enjoy it.
Hey, I'd want it like recorded, everything, but I just think that would be the sickest way. Like not being buried, not being burned in just like a proper fucking crematorium. Just stick me on a boat, push me out to sea, and get like the best archer just to ping an arrow at me. That just seems like the sickest way to have like to be sent off.
It'd be funny if you fucking missed, though, wouldn't it?
No, I'd want him to purposely miss. I'd literally be like, look, you make sure you miss a few times, mate. Like, but no one else would know. So he'd be pinging them out, missing me, but like, oh, fuck me, I was nailing this in practice, and then like finally hits me like after like 10 arrows or something. And then that's it,
10 arrows and the crowds are gone. That's his shit.
Yeah.
You're now 4 miles out to sea. Fuck.
That's it.
Drag him back.
But I just think that would be such a cool way to go.
Do you know what? I think on that note, I think we're probably going to wrap it up there on the Viking.
Yeah,
all right, so we need a title for this for today. Obviously, we do have no titles for these until the very end. I like the Viking funeral. That's quite a good little title. Anyone got a suggestion for a title?
I kind of like Viking funeral, but it was a very small snippet at the back at the end. But it's kind of a cool title. Or just Prince Philip.
Or you could just call it Brett's maps are upside down.
Brett's maps are upside down. Oh god! I was trying to think that I could reference that £10 note as well. This is my ID.
Yeah, you could call it "This is my ID," and then like the actual like picture of it before you go in is like just a £10 note with the Queen's head on it. Or if you could get a picture of the Queen and then we have her on the £10 note.
It's a title. I can't put a picture in the title.
No. But like when people click on a video and it like the first thing that you see is just like that screen. If you could have like the Queen of that picture and you see the title of like "This is my ID" and you just have a picture of a Queen, like the thumbnail, like the picture of the Queen with a £10 note.
I might do. I might just call it this is my ID and a £10 note. Something along them. I don't know. Something along them lines. But thank you guys for joining us again. Or joining me again, I should say. It was always fun. Guys, thank you again very much for watching. Don't forget to join us again in 2 weeks' time for the next episode of the Heads Up podcast. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. So I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.
See you later.
Bye bye.